Many people in their 50s and beyond don't often think about what truly predicts how long they might live after 70. Not in a clinical, numbers on a chart way, but in the quiet, human, deeply personal sense. We tend to assume that our future is a mixture of fate, family history, and perhaps the quality of healthcare we receive. But more and more, we're learning that there are signs, gentle ones, that appear long before we reach our 70s. And they're surprisingly connected to the way we live, think, and relate to the world right now. You may not realize how much this matters at this stage of life. What if I told you that something as simple as how you wake up in the morning, or how often you laugh with someone you trust, could quietly extend your years or slowly shorten them? This video is not about medical advice. It's about awareness, about quietly observing the life you're already living and gently adjusting it if you feel called to. Let's take a look together at 7 signs that researchers and wise elders say can help predict how long you'll live after 70. Part 1. You still find meaning in small things. People who continue to see meaning in everyday life tend to live longer and better after 70. This doesn't mean grand accomplishments. It means you still feel something when sunlight hits the kitchen table, or when a grandchild asks you a question and waits for your answer. It means your days still have color, even when they're quiet. Studies have shown that a sense of purpose, even a quiet one, is strongly linked to lower risk of disease, better sleep, and greater resilience. If you wake up and look forward to something, even something small, that's more powerful than you may realize. Finding meaning doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to save the world. You might simply tend a garden, write a note to a friend, cook a favorite meal. People who live well past 70 often describe these things as reasons. They add up, and they matter. Part 2. You move every day. Even without calling it exercise, it's not about fitness routines. It's about movement woven into daily life. Many people feel guilty for not working out, but those who live longest after 70 often don't spend hours at the gym. What they do is keep moving. They walk. They stretch. They get up and down. They garden, clean, dance, bend, and reach. Their bodies stay familiar with motion. There's wisdom in gentle, consistent motion. It keeps blood flowing, joints lubricated, and minds alert. Even just standing up and walking through the house several times a day can add up over time. The key is not sitting still for too long. The human body, especially after 50, was not made for endless stillness. It craves motion, and it rewards it with strength and stamina. Part 3. You maintain deep, trusted relationships. Longevity is closely tied to having people you can count on and who can count on you. In nearly every long-term study of aging, strong social connection appears again and again as a key factor in longer life. Not how many people you know, but how deeply you're known. 1 or 2 trusted friends, a partner, even a neighbor you can share a cup of tea with. It's not too late to strengthen old ties or build new ones. You may have lost people over the years. That's real and it hurts, but the capacity for connection doesn't vanish. Sometimes it's as simple as reaching out, listening more, rebuilding trust, or showing up. People over 70 who are surrounded by warmth, even quiet warmth, live longer and often happier lives. Part 4. You've made peace with the past emotional wounds. When left open, drain more than just energy. They can steal years from our lives. Letting go of old regrets or unresolved anger is one of the most health-boosting things you can do after 50. Not because those things weren't real, but because carrying them into your later years weighs more heavily than we realize. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing peace over pain. People who live well into their 80s and beyond often speak of a turning point. The moment they decided to stop reliving an old hurt. Sometimes they forgave a parent. Sometimes themselves. Whatever the story, the outcome is similar. A sense of lightness, a deeper breath, and often better health. Stress isn't just mental. It takes a physical toll, one that the body can't afford in later years. Part 5. You sleep well without always struggling for it. Sleep is a quiet healer, and how well you sleep after 50 says a lot about your health after 70. This doesn't mean perfect sleep, but a general ability to fall asleep and stay asleep most nights is a strong predictor of longevity. When sleep becomes chronically disturbed, it affects immune function, memory, and even the heart. The body knows how to rest, but sometimes we have to let it. Those who live longest often have calming evening routines. They don't fight sleep. They respect it. A warm bath, a cup of tea, soft music, less screen time. These aren't just comforts. They're keys to health. Deep rest allows the body to repair, the mind to reset, and the years to gather gently. Part 6. You stay curious. A curious mind stays young and keeps you alive in more ways than one. Curiosity is not about intelligence. It's about interest. Do you still ask questions? Wonder about things? Read new books or try unfamiliar recipes. That spark of curiosity, even about small things, is a powerful sign of longevity. A curious brain is a flexible brain, and flexibility, mentally and emotionally, allows us to adapt to life's changes, which are guaranteed in later years. People who live long don't resist change. They lean into it with questions. What can I learn from this? What else is out there? That simple act of wondering is quietly life-extending. Part 7. You still feel useful to someone or something. People who feel needed, even a little, tend to live longer, more satisfying lives. Whether the family role, a community task, or simply caring for a pet, usefulness gives people direction. After retirement or after children are grown, many feel adrift. But those who stay involved, even in small ways, stay vital. Being useful doesn't have to be dramatic. You might help a neighbor carry groceries, mentor someone, send birthday cards to old friends. These are acts of contribution, and they quietly reinforce that you matter, that your presence, your hands, your words still have weight in the world. The story of Margaret. Margaret, 74, from Yorkshire, UK, didn't always feel strong in her later years. After her husband passed away, she spent nearly 2 years in quiet grief. Her days felt long. Meals were often skipped. Nights were restless. But one morning, she decided to volunteer at the local charity shop, just 1 day a week. At first, she folded clothes in silence, but slowly, she began to chat with the others, laugh again, find rhythm in her days. Over time, her energy returned. Her smile, too. Margaret says now that she doesn't volunteer to stay alive, she does it because it reminds her she's still here. She's part of something. And that simple act, she believes, is what's kept her going. Margaret isn't chasing youth. She's living deeply in the years she's been given. These signs aren't tests to pass. They're gentle invitations. An invitation to notice your life more closely, to treasure the habits that serve you, to forgive, to move, to connect, to rest, to wonder. None of these signs are about perfection. They're about direction. Small shifts now can create a longer, richer path later. So I'll ask you this. What change made the biggest difference for you after 50? Let us know in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video gave you something to reflect on, give it a like, share it with someone you care about, and consider subscribing. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself.